So this is my feature request video for MIDI events and MIDI items to respect the track time base when set to time. So if we looked in here, I've got this MIDI track here. Well, it's not a MIDI track, but you know what I mean. It's a track, and the time base is set to time. And this track here, which I will record some audio on, this is also set to time. In my master track here, I have just a gentle linear ramp of tempo, and when I get to this point I will make something up. So let's just record some audio for the time being, the purposes of which will become clear in a bit. So if I start recording from here, and we'll leave it at that for the moment. Don't know why I want to bring this down, but I just have an urge to bring these volumes down. There we go. Okay. So now if I was going to record some piano, I might do something like this. Yeah. Now clearly I started to ignore the tempo at that point, and I was making up the tempo from this point on as I saw fit, which is exactly as I might want to do things. I might be composing something and I've got this area here which I'm fixed to the tempo for, and then afterwards I want to be free, and then the rest of my accompaniment I might want to match to this tempo here, which means I would want to create a tempo map according to what I had just played on the piano whilst keeping that performance. So in the audio world, this is not a problem. This track is already set to time-based time here. So if I were to make a change in the tempo, we can see that that will stay the same, and I can move these around until these line up. So currently there, which is exactly as I performed it. But if I wanted to, if for example I sped up or did something different with my offbeat claps here, I could just simply move this until they aligned correctly. I could add another one in here and make up an entire tempo map based on this performance. But what I can't currently do, and that's what this feature request is about, is doing exactly the same thing with MIDI based items. Now, as you can see, that we know that I could, if this was a fixed tempo, I could quite easily go into the properties here and select ignore tempo and use the same tempo, which is what was ever fixed in here. But it's not fixed. This here is a linear ramp, and so if I were to change, so my starting tempo at the moment is 120. If I change this to ignore and use 120, we can see that the entire performance has now changed. See, what I would want to be able to do is to be able to fix these positions and then alter my tempo map. So I could just, go in here, add another item, and then start moving this around. But unfortunately, even though this is set to time, the MIDI events are not respecting the time base time. They are still using beats, position, length and rate. That's my feature request. Thank you.